What up, YouTube? As you can see by the title, today's video is going to be about the difference between a blessing from God and a blessing from the devil. And I know that may throw a lot of people off, like, how can the devil give you a blessing? Well, let's get into it. Now, even in the Bible, Jesus refers to Satan as the ruler of this world. And as you look around and absorb the world, there's nothing positive that comes out of the machine, whether it's education, whether it's food, whether it's health, whether it's music, whether anything that's out of this system is tainted. So it's plain to see that Satan runs this world, and the world is going in more of an ungodly path than it is a righteous path. So whenever the devil blesses you, it's to set you up for destruction and for failure and self-destruction. And whenever God blesses you, he blesses you to prosper and to take that blessing and have the discipline and purity to do something good with it and not flip it. This is why it's harder to obtain a blessing from God than it is the devil. See, it's easy for a lot of people to be wicked and to do things that they ain't got no business doing. And it may appear like they're getting blessings, they have a nice car, they got a nice house, they got things that you inspire to get. But the thing about it is the reason why the devil's giving them blessings, because he knows they're gonna take that blessing and furthermore use it for destruction. And if not destruction, then they're gonna destruct themselves. So the worst place to be is in the middle and of a spiritual war. It's best to pick a side, because people that are in the middle are the people that have it the hardest, because they're not good, they're not bad, they're not religious, they're kind of in the middle, they believe in God, they try to do right when they can, and it's constantly a yank back and forth. And this is going to be the hardest path for you to choose. And I would never tell anyone to go to the path of the wicked, because it's easy, because it's a deception. Same way celebrities sell their souls, and then all of a sudden they get a big deal or get a #1 album or get $100 million, and all of a sudden a family member or something dies. So whenever he gives you a blessing, it's a tainted blessing. There's nothing that Satan can give you that's a pure blessing. So that's God. So whenever God gives you a blessing, it's because you've been doing right, you've been pure, you've been disciplined, and you can obtain that. Because even getting a blessing from God, people can flip it and use it for bad. You say out of nowhere you hit the lottery for $1 million. Somebody that's righteous is going to take that million and do something righteous with it. But somebody that got that blessing from Satan is going to indulge more into the sin that they already have embraced in. So if they're on drugs, they're going to take that money, use more drugs, probably overdose, blow the money. It's always set up for a destruction whenever you're dealing with the wicked one. That's why it's best to pick a side. This is why whenever you have people that indulge in sin and do criminal activities, the one that really is not into it and maybe a follower and may not be all the way down with it, but that's doing it because somebody else is doing it, those are the people that usually die or get hurt or end up in the worst situation, because usually death more than likely, because you have to realize Satan's going to pick the fruit while it's ripe. So the people that are doing wicked, they're going to keep doing wicked, and he's going to keep letting them live because he knows they're not going to change. But as far as the people that are in the middle, you got to pick those fruit while they're ripe and catch them in the midst of sin. So this is why, it could be part of the reason why they say the good die young. It's not the fact that they're purely and overall good. It's probably the fact of them being good at heart, but just ending up in the wrong situation. And that's the thing that ends them up getting either death or in the worst situation, because their heart's not in the sin. But when your heart's not in the sin and you sinning, that's when the devil wants to take you out. That way you don't get saved and he catches your soul in the midst of sin. This is why in the Bible it says all sin leads to death. Whether you're stealing, whether you're lustful, all of these sins could lead you to death. So he's not gonna take a chance of you hitting a lick. Let's say you're breaking into somebody's house. He's not gonna take the chance of you hitting it big, and then being like, you know what, I need to turn my life around. I need to go back to God and take this as an opportunity to build a foundation for me learning from and doing better. You're going to get killed in the midst of that sin for not picking a side. So he's going to force you on the side and catch you in the midst of sin. That way your soul can't be saved. At the end of the day, when it comes to this spiritual war, it's only one goal on the good and the bad side, and that is obtaining souls. So that's the main premises of it. So it's best to get on the good side, follow Yahweh, get into your Bible, start being more pure, and in these times right now, cleaning up and getting right, because the world is getting real wicked, and the last thing you want to do is get caught in the midst of sin trying to do better. Pick a side, just do better. I'm doing it. If there's one thing I can tell you, the grass is greener on the other side, hands down. It's just that a lot of people don't have patience. Everything is balanced, and a lot of people are confused. They don't know where to turn or where to lean on, so they're leaning on drugs. They're leaning on music to fix their vibes when they need to get back into God. This is what helped me. This is why I'm dishing it out to help other people, because now that I see what it is and I'm realizing it's a spiritual war and what the goal is, I'm only trying to save souls. I can care less about anything else. So yes, the devil can bless you, but it's setting you up for destruction. So don't envy and admire people that have better things than you, but are doing wicked things to obtain them. Don't envy that. It's best to obtain your blessing and be patient and get it from God. That way it's pure, that way it's prosperous, as opposed to getting a blessing and now something bad happened and the karma coming back and around. This is why a lot of these celebrities make a mistake of selling their soul or selling out, because now he done gave you everything you wanted, but what does he want from you? He wants your soul, and for exchange of what he's giving you, whether it's money, fame, or whatever, he's gonna want a soul that you care about. So I know a lot of people are confused with the whole sacrifice thing and don't believe it. Well, it's simple. The thing about it is that people want money, people want fame. The devil just wants souls. Money doesn't mean nothing to him. The Lamborghini, the house you have doesn't mean nothing to him, because he's aware of eternity. So you having some gold change or some money or stuff that you can't take with you, what you're gone, he'll give it to you all day. He tempted Jesus for 40 days to sit up and worship him, but God kept rebuking him because he knew the word and he wouldn't bow down. So that's basically what he's doing to people now. The same way he was tempting Jesus and trying to tell him, oh, I'll let you be king of the world and I'll give you all this and all that. It's the same thing that a lot of people are falling for. And they're giving their family members up for sacrifices. That way, their soul is tainted for making the sacrifice. So he's got their soul, and now he's got a pure soul that they've been given their agreements to sacrificing. So he wins both times, and you lose, but you feel like, and they lose, but they kind of feel like they win. So it's like, yeah, you got all this money, but now you got to lose your mom. Now you got to lose one of your kids or something. So when he gives a blessing, it's bittersweet. You got it, but look what you had to sacrifice in order to get it. And all these celebrities always talk about sacrifice. Even Kanye said, my mom was a sacrifice. Jordan's dad was a sacrifice. These are the things that we got to look at and realize these people have been there, done that, and they're talking out and they're speaking out about it. Is he crazy? No, it's a fact. This is what really goes on. It's only about souls. We care about cars and houses and money and fame. That's not eternal, and that don't last forever. What the devil's worried about and what God's concerned about is eternity and the soul and where it goes. Who's collecting more souls? That's basically what it is. So I'm just saying, be on the path of the righteous, because doing wicked, it comes with perks. Like Kanye said, I sold my soul, but at least it came with a few toys like a Happy Meal. So in other words, I sold my soul, or he's saying he sold his soul, but at least he got a couple things out of it. And that's basically the exchange. So basically it breaks down to, is your soul worth the material things of earth that are lasting people typically maybe 80 years if you're lucky, 70, 80 years. With how bad this food and how everything's going, you'd be lucky to get 70, 80 years compared to eternity. Get down with the righteous. Love y'all, stay safe.